hate fast fashion in cosplay. Now, cosplay is like one of the more sustainable hobbies you can have because you can literally reuse anything. So, just for this, Merriam-Webster defines fast fashion as an approach to design, creation, and marketing of clothes, fashions that emphasize making fashion trends quickly, cheaply, and available to consumers. In other words, it's a push of low-quality clothing, and usually it's not made ethically. But it's someone whose labor is being taken advantage of, or they are under forced labor. Now, a lot of people in cosplay tend to not rewear their cosplays, and see, a lot of cosplays, I'm not naming brands, but a lot of ones you may get off stuff like AliExpress or Amazon are typically not made under ethical conditions, nor are they made with, quality materials. And a lot of people, they do not rewear a cosplay, and this is becoming too much of an issue within this community. This is not necessarily something you can say, it's this generation or it's this generation. It is a growing pattern that's continuing. It is unfortunate that we have reached a point where it is seen more as a rarity to rewear a cosplay more than like 3 times. And now, cosplay is matching a lot of the same statistics as standard clothing fast fashion. Around the Industrial Revolution, the average British person owned 9 pieces of clothing, like 9 outfits, and that's all they had. Now, on average, the average British person consumes half their body weight in clothing per year. Not eating it, but that's how much they buy. And this is becoming too much of an issue because this is happening in cosplay. This is a hobby where this ain't clothing, this ain't necessary. I can understand that a lot of people love different fandoms and they want to keep on trying things out. But the issue is, there's cons where I go to and I see cosplayers and I have never once seen them in a new cosplay, and there is no recycling of pieces. It's all Doki Doki and Pro Hero Cosplays and other brands like that. It's a new cosplay every single time, and it's becoming an issue. Now, this is becoming more of an issue when it comes to TikTok and other social media similar, like with Reels and Shorts. And this I would call the Nimona effect. Now, was it started by Nimona? No. But it really kicked off around Nimona, where when a popular movie comes out, a lot of creators start making the cosplays or buying the cosplays just while it's trending, and then they don't reuse it again. And while in some cases it is just a genuine passion and they happen to follow along, a lot of it is their followers asked for it and they are doing it. And you're seeing these cosplays, they are not reworn, and it's the moment it's trending, everyone is doing it. And I don't mean like 5 people, I mean hundreds of cosplayers are doing it. And then the moment it's not trending, nothing. We had it with Squid Game, we had it with K-pop Demon Hunter, and we've had it with so many other movies, and it's getting ridiculous at this point. Cosplay is a hobby of passion, of love. It is the craft which is derived from that, and people need to try and just reduce how much they cosplay. Wear your cosplays. Cosplay has long been a community filled of devoted fans who would put months into creating that one costume that they doesn't really exist. So let's just say the Warden, this guy, I have made that twice. Both times these are several month-long projects. But my point is, it's a slow creating of one project. I don't know what most cosplayers do, but with myself, my rule is the rule of 3. 3 major cosplays in a year. That is my maximum. And the rule of 3, it's 3 cosplays, 3 months, of wanting to make it, and it's usually 3-month build. I like to take time, and I like to rewear my cosplays. My most worn cosplay was my NCR Ranger, which I wore about 17 times, but then I sold it. And in general, I do believe you should have a cosplay last more than a year. I understand if it gets broken, but there should be an active attempt to repair. And the issue is, when people are trying to follow these trends for cosplays, they are going to go to all of the standard fast fashion or ultra fashion companies. So think Shein, for example. People are going to go buy all their accessories or all their base clothing if there is no costumes available, and they are going to have them done, and then they are going to go into the bin like the rest after 1 or 2 wears. And that's the issue, because these are made unethically, and in general it's unnecessary. I understand cosplay is expensive, but I do not believe people need to follow trends in cosplay. Fortunately, there has been a trend chasing issue that has arisen in cosplay, and a desire for instant gratification, and you see it with a lot of creators. Hey, can you do a roomie cosplay? Sure, I did a roomie one. The moment they do it, alright, come on, dance, go on, go and do Mira next, after they just did it. And it's becoming an issue because we have a lot of Gen Z cosplayers. I am a Gen Z, I'm just saying. I'm not necessarily bashing, but this is the age range in which I see it the most, who, the moment something trends, they're cosplaying from it, and it's often not a closet cosplay, it's often buying a cosplay. And yes, people can do what they want with their money, but you need to remember, these costumes are not made ethically. They are terrible, and I mean terrible for the environment, in their production and in what happens afterwards. And the issue is, people aren't getting that. It's the, well, I want to cosplay it. Do you want to cosplay it? Or are you doing it hoping you can gain followers? That's the issue. Like, there needs to be more of a push towards closet cosplays, because closet cosplays are a lot better. You can just take stuff out of your wardrobe and boom bam bing, you have reduced your carbon footprint because you went and you just used what you had. Plus you got like more use of your clothing. Or thrift. Just thrift. It's not hard. You can make cosplays out of clothing. You don't need to keep on going and buying like all these things for cosplays. And that's the real thing that gets me. It's just a thing of, it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary, it's unethical, and it is so bad for the environment. Like, people can enjoy cosplay, but people need to rewear their cosplays, reuse some of their pieces. Because if you have a new costume every year, I know people who do like 30 to 40 cosplays a year, and it's insane because these aren't being reworn. These aren't even being sold once they're done. They're not being donated or just being dumped in a landfill unnecessarily because someone wanted to follow a trend. Like, cosplay is some of love and passion. If you do not love, and I mean genuinely love and have a lot of passion towards a character, maybe you shouldn't cosplay them. Because at the end of the day, is it really worth it, like, to cosplay them? Because a lot of people, they want clout. They want to follow a trend. Most people don't get those results. And I think it's okay to cosplay something that's trending, but you need to be careful on how you do it. A lot of people as well, they go into financial abuse to follow a trend, and that is such a bad issue. If you cannot afford it, you should not do it. And a lot of people, we have a culture of instant gratification. People want validation, and it's harder and harder for people to take breaks when they see a trend and they really, really want to grow their account, or they really want gratification. And so they tend to lean into fast fashion when cosplay, which is unfortunate, and it disconnects people from the, joy of cosplay. The fashion industry is one of the worst when it comes to carbon emissions and just in general pollution, when it comes to any industry. And cosplay is a part of that. And I do think everyone should do their part, not just in cosplay, just in general with their fashion. Do their part and just try and reduce your carbon footprint. Because unfortunately, the machine ain't gonna stop turning, so you may vote with your wallet. Say, I would rather something be made better. I would rather, less and more quality. So, what can be done? A lot of different, countries have similar things of cons or a community group that have costume swaps. So if you're in the Republic of Ireland, or if you're in Northern Ireland, we have the Northern Irish cosplay community, we have the West of Ireland cosplay community, and we have the East of Ireland cosplay community. As well as, if you are in Ireland and in the UK, we have the Guild of Nerds, who does similar. And I think if you don't have these, maybe look for a Facebook group, maybe try and set one up. Because I think if we have costume swaps and material swaps, we can just reduce things. I think there are so many options out there. Wear clothing for a cosplay. You don't necessarily need to go and buy a new piece every time you want to cosplay. For example, this is the jacket I have for my Red Hood. This is just a jacket out of my wardrobe. I wear this most days around winter and autumn, and it ain't a summer jacket. It's too warm for that. But I try to reuse stuff, even with my pants. Most pants in my cosplay are just stuff from my wardrobe. I won't make them specifically, and I won't buy them specifically unless they have to be heavily, heavily altered. I try and use what I have in my wardrobe, or I try and go thrifting for that item. Case in point, I needed a belt for my Grey Warden cosplay. Now, I could have bought one online that matched what I needed, but I didn't want to, go and buy it. Not because of the cost, but because I don't want to give money to the likes of Shein. So, what did I do? I went to the charity store, NCBI specifically, and I went and I got this belt. This belt, as you can see, is bronze and black. I sanded the front down, silver, replicated a nice leather look, some brown. These holes weren't there before. This is because it's things have to loop through and whatnot. But I decided to go and reuse stuff, or when I can, especially. Anyway, thank you for watching. This was more like a short rant, I suppose. But if you want some more detailed videos, go and check this video out. This is about AI in cosplay. I promise it's much better in this video. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a lovely day and stay hydrated.